Hello everyone, this is Diane. So I just spent some time decorating this cover. I decided to go with these pretty pastel miniature doilies, and I really like the way this looks. I think it's a pretty cover. I hope you agree. It doesn't have any swan representation on the front, but it matches the pages that will go inside. But we're not working on this today. I'm working on pages for the really big journal. They need to be 16 inches wide, and then so they'll be 8 when they're folded. So usually, if you're familiar with how I build up pages, I would normally sew a strip of coordinating paper on one edge and then cut it to 16 inches and then fold it in half. So one page would have a coordinating piece on it. But I decided I wanted to do something different this time. So this is 8 inches. That's one page. And so I need to just build up this side of the page. So I started doing that. I have this piece of sheet music with the title Swan, and I'll probably decorate this too. But it was fragile. You can see it was torn there. It did have a lot of rips along the edges that I cut off. So it's not too bad right now. It just had that one tear, and I might put a piece of vintage cellophane tape there. So I glued this to the flap, but first I glued this piece of scrapbook paper to the back, and I only glued it here and here and here. So there's a little pocket here. And I cut this too short when I cut it, so I got into the Pixie Dust Files pieces that I pulled out that aren't part of the Swan kit, and I found this piece that fits there beautifully. I want you to be able to see it. It looks like an embossed card. So I'll just glue that right there. I've had a busy day today, so I probably won't make the whole video today. I'll probably do some more tomorrow and add on to this. I don't have a lot of time right now. My daughter and I got our nails done, and when I got home, it was about lunchtime, almost lunchtime, but I had some cooking and baking to do. It's my daughter-in-law's birthday today, and I wanted to make her some brownies at her request with peanut butter icing. But I had some other cooking to do to put in the freezer. And I still have the mess in the kitchen to clean up. And I have to take the brownies to her when she gets out of work, so I don't have a lot of time. So this is a pretty pocket here, and I'm sure I will embellish that. I might put some pretty trim or something on it. Right now, I'm just focusing on building up the pages. And it's fine to have a page that's not full page, but let me show you. These are the pages that I cut that are full size, and there aren't very many of them. And these are all short ones. So I do want some that are full size. Like, I'm going to have 3 signatures, so I want several pages within each signature that are full size. 2 of them will be scrapbook paper. So there's that. So I wanted to just go ahead and work on some more. I'm putting, these are thin. I'm putting 2 pages in each signature, and 2 of them, I wanted this to go this way. I wanted the short side. That's okay. That's fine. Perfectly fine. I'll put these 2 this way. These will be inside the signature, and these sturdier ones will be on the outside of the signature. So that's why I wanted this to be the smooth page. So I'm going to do these 2. What I have that I can use to build up the pages are, not those, just a few pages out of Swan books. Oops. That goes with this. It's a poem. And then this was used to illustrate it, but they don't have to go together in the journals. And I have the pages of the Swan's song. That's nice right there. Well, I'm going, maybe for the 3 that are inside the signature, I can just use these. So I need to cut this down to 9 3/4 inches tall and about 8 inches high. Is that right? No, that's where I made my mistake. 9 inches high, because 9 3/4. That's how tall this is. Oh, I know what I was trying to say. I need it to be 9 3/4 high and 8 inches this way. That's where I got the 8 inches. By making it just slightly smaller than 8 inches, so it's not right up against the crease there. And then 10, 9 3/4. And I will make this the page that you can see. It's a sturdy enough page. It's not very lightweight, but I want to completely back it because it is fragile. You can see it just wants to tear. There's a tear there. So I want to be able to see this page, so I will glue it like this. And I will cover this part to protect it. And it needs to look good up against that. So instead of doing pattern paper, maybe I could do a coffee dyed paper or something like that. Or maybe it's very pale pink, uneven. It's got some speckles on one side. I think I like that one because it's not going to be a grungy vintage journal. It's going to be more, you know, pastel and fresh looking. So I probably don't want coffee dye. All right, so, and this doesn't need to cover the entire page. It just needs to go underneath that. So this is 4 inches, so I'll cut it about 5.5 inches. So 10 3/4 for the height. And 5.5 inches for the width. So this will go here. Oh, 9 3/4, not 10 3/4. I have it written right here. All I have to do is look at it. I think I like that side better. going to go ahead and put some cellophane tape there, vintage stuff. Look at all that cool tape. That's a roll of vintage masking tape. And here as well. It's going to be glued like that to be able to see that tape. And this won't be glued down, it'll be glued along the edge. So I just want to make sure that gets reinforced. I glued the whole page. I didn't make it a pocket. Okay, so it's not going to be a pocket. I screwed that up. Is that right? Yeah. Yep, that should have been a pocket. So I'm just going to make sure this edge gets glued down all the way. I can put a little pocket on there or something. They don't all have to be the same. Tape wants to curl. Smearing the glue around. Alrighty. A little bit to trim off here. Oh, I was right. This is going to be the pocket. No problem. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue here. I did not make a mistake. Make sure it's not right up against the very, very edge. Pretty close. Okay, and there's a pocket there. So this one will have this music page on it. So now this one will be facing this way with the flat side, and then on the back side of the signature we'll have this flap. Maybe I'll put this on here. I would prefer this to be a full page too, so I'll need to add something to it. Let's see what I've got here. Oh, I know. Nope, that's not going to do it. I have these pages that printed on cardstock by mistake, but they're not tall enough. They're the background pages that I used on my digital. It's very pretty. I don't know. So I don't think I'm going to build it up as a full page. I will just glue this on, and we can have a bit of a pocket right here, but I need to cover that. So I will cover it with this. It's got the white edge on it. I could make some beautiful tags with this, with these cardstock ones too. And this one, printed on paper, but I thought it was printing on the back of one of my Swan pages. So I don't know what I'll do with that. I might cut it in half and give half to each journal for a writing spot in the inside a pocket or something. We don't need to worry about that right now. So I'll just glue this right there. It's got to go up in that corner. Can't do it that way. I wanted to preserve as much of that as I could, but I guess we'll do it this way. I'm going to round these corners. So I will bring it all the way out, so it's going to be a more shallow pocket. Just marking that so I know where to put the glue. Make sure it looks straight. That's not all the way out. Oh well, that's where it's going to be. So I have a pocket that deep here. I didn't know it was going to be that challenging. We have 2 pages done. We know what we're doing with that one. I have 2 more to do. So I have the poem. Let's put the picture on it. I love that picture. I told my mother I was making swan journals, and she said, "They're mean." I said, "But they're beautiful." I'm going to get some piano roll paper for the back of this. I don't use that very much. These are wide holes. You'll be able to see some words through it. That's okay. Let's try glue stick for this. this one has a skinnier pocket because I put it out further. Whoops, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did it different because this pocket is on the back side and this pocket is on the front side. One more. Oh, right here. I think I'll just put that on it. I'll just cut that in half. Trim off the white. I think what I need to do is just do this journal, the big one, separate from the other one because they're going to be constructed differently, and these tags and cards need to be oversized pockets. So I think it'd be easier if I just focus on one size. So I'll do this one, get it listed, and then I'll do the other one. I do think I want to cover this with something though. Something, let's see, how much writing space would there be? I could put a lined paper there. See what I have. Perfect. I just need to trim off a little bit. Yeah, that'll be nice. Something different. I have to fill my bottles. I'll have to mark again. Okay, so we have 3 sturdy pages. And they will be decorated further. And each of them has a pocket. And I have 2 of these pages. This one goes this way, there's a pocket. And I'll make this one just like this one. So I hope this wasn't too confusing because I did it several different ways, but I hope it gives you an idea for another way you can build up your pages to make them bigger. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's see, where are we? Okay, I'm not going to say goodbye because hopefully we'll add something onto this. So I'll be back in a click. What I'm doing right now is making a large pocket for the inside front. So I took a piece of this pink cardstock. It was 12 by 12. It was in a pattern paper pack, but there were several pages that were kind of plain. So that's what I'm using for the pocket. And I have this large piece of nylon fabric with lace, and it's quite deep. So I cut the pocket to the size I wanted. And then I glued my fabric on with a glue stick. I didn't put the glue right out to the edges, just kind of in the middle. I didn't want to use a wet glue that would show through this thin fabric, and there are holes in the laces. The glue would just be shiny through there. And it's thin enough that I thought the glue stick would hold it long enough for me to do the sewing. So I let it dry. Then I sewed all the way around, and then I sewed on this line and right across there. And now I have a pocket. And I have these large tags that I purchased, but it looks a little puny in there. So I decided to make a bigger one. So I took some more of the Anna Griffin paper, cardstock paper, and I'm going to make a tag with that. I cut this at 5 inches by 9.5 inches. I have a little die that will cut these large reinforcements, so I did that. And now I'm going to, I guess I'm going to add something, add a decoration to it. I guess this is the one I was going to do. I'm not sure if these are Sampool. They didn't come with this kit that I'm using, but I have, I'm not sure where they are right now. These, they're all Swan images, so I don't know where I got them from, but they're beautiful. And I chose, oh, this, I don't know. I don't know where they all came from. I guess these came with the kit, and this one is not with the kit. But there are others, too, that go with that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, so it's a digital. That's all I know. So I'm going to add this to this pink paper. It's not cardstock, it's paper, copy paper. So this has been a month full of appointments. This is March. We're nearing the end of March. And I determined this year that I was going to catch up on, you know, the regular doctor appointments and scans and blood work and all the stuff you're supposed to keep up on. And then I had to get my car inspected this month, which I had to put new tires on the car in order for it to pass. Just 2, but that's expensive. And then I had to get my taxes done. So that was the last appointment for this month. It's been kind of a crazy month. I'm using my scissors instead of my paper cutter because I want to cut around this shape. I think it's not very even. Oh well. And I thought it might need something else. I used my Big Shot and some embossing folders to do some embossing on some cardstock that I might want to use and I might not. I'll just try it out. I could put some lace fabric or mesh or cheesecloth or something behind it. I like that. Let's see, what else could I do to it? Maybe a piece of doily. Don't know. Don't think so. It just goes too linear and I don't want to cover things up on that side, I guess. I have this old ledger and it's in a different language, I think. And maybe a little flower or a crocheted bit. It's pretty 3D. Rub some ink on here. want that to look so squared off up there. Okay, that's a pretty tag. All right, so I think I'll put something on the back so you can write on it more easily. Since I have this old ledger on the front, maybe I'll put a ledger page on the back. I have that page from a hardware store, which I could use. And I have this really old one that's almost all written in, but there's a little bit of blank in the back. And even the numbers, the corners with the numbers, my goodness, the corners with the numbers are worn down, so the numbers are almost gone. I think I'll put this on. Just have that little bit of a number showing there. I want to have some of the pretty tags showing. Then I'll show you my signatures. I'm not sure what I'll put in there yet. I'll glue the pocket on. I'll let that dry before I slip that in, but it does fit in there nicely. That looks very pretty. So these are the signatures. I think there are, I don't remember how many pages in each signature. But I have the cardstock piece, and this is a little pocket. Oh, pocket's on this side with piano roll paper. This is the wide vellum grid paper for an engineer. It's a very pale blue grid lines, and they're only on one side. You can see the Swan digital through there. This is a specialty paper. It was a 12 by 12. And this beautiful wrapping paper that I got in a Happy Mail. Looks very Swan-like. And here's the other patterned paper, 12 by 12 pattern paper. And this side got the short edge, and I glued it to this Swan's music paper. And made a pocket here. Put some dyed paper on the back of this paper. More digital. Another grid paper, a big one, but it's not vellum. This one is a vellum blocked, and I might move that into a different signature because we already have just that one, I guess, the grid vellum. So I don't know if I'll move this or not, but it's a 12 by 12, and I've had it for a while. I think I got it at my friend's yard sale, maybe last summer. And I thought it was perfect in here. This is a teacher's book, so it's a nice big book, but it still wasn't wide enough to fill the page. And then we have this beautiful children's book. Now, this is so adorable. I don't know if I want to cover it, but it's not Swan at all. So tell me what you think. Should I cover it? And then here's the back I showed you. I guess that's all because that's just plain. The other side of the digital. So there are 2 pattern papers and 2 digital pages in each journal, or each signature. Let me see if there's anything different in here. Just some of these pages vary, just random plain pages you can write on. This came out of an album that you could, I got it at a craft store years ago. You could create with it. This is beautiful embossed stationery paper for a computer. I'm going to turn it this way because this is the right side. And then we have a page from a story book, and this was the Trumpet of the Swan. And here's a large ledger book page. It has the number up there, and I didn't want to lose that, so I like that it has these spaces for writing. It has blank Pennsylvania, and then 19, where you would fill in the year. So I folded those corners in, those edges in, and then this is from a college computation book, and I'll probably do some collaging on that side. Another piece of the wallpaper and a book page. These digitals are so beautiful. And here's a pocket here, and the cover of the Swan music. So I'm thinking I would like to do some texture paste on these music pages, but I got my jar of texture paste out, and I haven't used it in a very long time. I don't know if it's still usable. Maybe I'll have to look up a homemade version. I've seen it on Pinterest. And this is from an antique magazine with the lady and the swans, Edwardian. So I'll collage on the back of this to reinforce it. Tissue paper over this swan piece. And this is a music manuscript paper in green. I'm almost out of that paper. And another page from the Trumpet of the Swan. This one has a canasta score sheet on it, and this is a digital. So those are the signatures. Let's try that texture paste out. I have this stencil. I believe this is from Tailor Made Journals. And it looks like it's a wallpaper border because it has some information, 16 inches wide. So I'll just smear some on here and see what happens. Looks like it'll work. Yeah, I think that'll work. Just do a little bit down here. I always say I want to do it, and then I never remember to do it. while I'm working. That looks nice. Set that aside. I'll use this one here. I better do a lot of texture pasting before this completely dries up. Now this page, this was the back page of the sheet music. It was 3 pages, I believe, of sheet music that I could use. And I wanted this. So I covered the actual music with some white piano roll paper. You can see some of the little punched out parts of the paper for the piano, the music to play. But I wanted this, so I think I'll put some texture paste on this. I need another stencil. This is Ranger Texture Paste Opaque Matte, but I've used other types too. And there is a homemade version. I think you make it with cornstarch, but I'm not sure. I should look it up because I have cornstarch. I don't like that it has that flat edge at the top. So I'm going to put a little of that circle-y design up there. You don't want to lay it down on the wet texture paste and smush it. And I did it right over that old tape. So this time I'm not going to start up at the top where the flat line is. And I don't want to come out to the edge where the flat line is. Just do a little bit down here. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's going to be it for today. We did the pocket, or at least I showed you the pocket, and the tag, and some dried texture paste. I'm trying to find the tag. Oh, it's on the cover. Ta-da! It turned out nice. That glue should be dry. So there, that's how it looks in there. I can't wait to see how this looks because it's so big and it's kind of flexible. I just want to see what it looks like when it's all put together. But we'll get there. This is just the very beginning. I'm going to have some lunch and let this stuff dry, and then I'll come back down and do some more work. I'll see you then. Have a creative day. Bye.